How are you?
I'm good. I think today we're here to talk about chocolate.
I love chocolate.
Yeah, more specifically, cacao powder.
Yeah, which is like raw dark chocolate. So
From
not
what I
maybe
hear,
as yummy as like the Belgian chocolate, but yeah, the dark chocolate.
yeah. So I hear it has a lot of benefits, and so we should just dig into it a little bit.
Okay.
And so my question to you is like, why is cocoa powder so good for you, or more specifically, cacao powder? What are the health
Right.
benefits to
So
that?
I'll talk about cacao specifically, which is actually a little bit different than cocoa. So first, I'm going to break that apart really quick, and then I'll go into some health benefits of it. The difference between cocoa powder and cacao powder is cacao powder is actually considered raw chocolate. It's raw cacao bean. It is actually heated slightly at a very low temperature just to separate out the cocoa butter, cacao butter out of it, which is the fat from the bean. And
So,
then
so cocoa powder and cacao are they come from the same source though.
they come from the cacao bean. So the
It's
cacao
just
bean
the way they're
is
processed.
right, exactly. The
Okay.
cacao bean is what's like the a pod, it's a seed pod on the
Right,
cacao plant, and
right.
they harvest the pod, take the bean out, and then from there they either low heat the bean to just separate out the fats, and then process it, just basically grind it and then make cacao powder, or they fine ground, or they can make nibs, which is just a coarse ground chunks of the bean. Or to make cocoa, they actually roast it at a high temperature and then grind the beans, and that makes cocoa. So it's basically it comes from the same thing. The difference is cacao, because it's so low heated, it's actually
Mhm.
still considered raw, and it
Okay.
has all of its antioxidants, all of its nutrients intact.
So it has more of a health
Cocoa,
benefit because
yeah,
it's
it does.
unheated.
And the cocoa tastes a little better in a lot of people's opinion, and is
Gotcha.
usually used for baking and making like pastries and things like
Yeah.
that. It still has health benefits, but
Yeah.
it because it's roasted at a high temperature, it changes its structure, and some of those health benefits are reduced from the heating process.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
basically the difference. But both of them are an unsweetened, minimally processed uh, product of the cacao bean
Right.
itself. So, but I'm going to be talking about cacao because I think cacao has the most health benefits.
Excellent.
If you were to take that and translate it into what is cocoa, it just is, you're going to get some of the same benefits. They're just going to be reduced. So if you're looking for a health benefit, I guess I'd probably try to consume cacao, use raw cacao powder in my recipes and things like that versus cocoa, unless you're just doing it strictly for flavor.
Gotcha. Sounds good. So what is specifically if we consume, every day cacao powder, like in a smoothie or in,
Yep. Most
like
people do.
a hot chocolate type thing,
Yep.
what are some of the health benefits that we can get from that product?
Okay, so cacao powder contains quite a bit of antioxidant, fatty acids, flavonoids, and polyphenols. Those are the antioxidants that are present. And they have a lot of benefits, specifically heart health benefits. So those polyphenols can help increase nitric oxide in your body. And nitric oxide, as we know from our conversation before,
Mhm.
helps reduce blood pressure. It also increases your elasticity of your arteries. That's partially how it
And
reduces
that's
your
similar to
blood
how
pressure. Yeah.
beetroot.
Yeah, in a similar, yeah, exactly. And then beyond that, studies show that it helps to lower your LDLs, your bad cholesterol, while it also helps to increase good cholesterol. So your HDLs, so it helps raise HDLs, lower LDLs. It also has anti-cancer effects of polyphenols, the antioxidants, and the flavonoids can have anti-cancer effects because they help scavenge up all of the free radicals in your body.
Mhm.
Um, Another interesting fact is it may help increase your skin's ability to or increase your skin's ability to fight off the effects of sun damage. So basically it just increases the time that you could spend in the sun without getting red. I'm not saying eat dark chocolate and, eat a dark chocolate bar and you can lay out in the sun for as long as you want without sunscreen.
Right.
But consuming that may help to reduce some of the damage that happens to your body, or prolong how long it takes to have that damage happen while you're in the sun. And then one of my most favorite things it does is it helps protect the brain and helps with brain function, partially because of the way that it helps with arterial health and cholesterol. A lot of our brain issues and decline in memory and dementia can be from blood flow. So it can
Well,
increase specifically blood flow to the brain. So those are my favorite things that dark chocolate does. So, eat
excellent.
up.
Well, that's something I really should consider putting in my morning smoothie.
Totally. Absolutely. It's a great way to get dark chocolate or cacao into your body, is putting it in a smoothie, and then you can it is quite bitter. It can be quite bitter because out of the bean itself, it's um a bitter taste, but you can add a
Uh,
little bit of some kind of sweetener. Some people like a fruit sweetener. You can put it with cherries. Um, you can
Cherries and
use
chocolate always work.
it does. And we have a smoothie recipe on our website for dark chocolate and cherry smoothie.
That's
You
right.
could change that out for cacao, and you might have to add a little bit of maple syrup, or can't remember exactly what's in that smoothie, but a little maple syrup or some honey to it makes
Yeah,
it taste really good, or coconut sugar if you prefer.
I'm hearing a lot of good things about date sugar, but
Yes, but
not
date
sure.
sugar, as with the other two, for you in particular, can increase blood sugar. So,
That's
you
right.
got to watch out for for that kind of thing. Some people, like monk fruit with their chocolate. Some people
Yeah,
don't mind the bitterness of it. So,
right.
or throwing it in with a banana. Bananas are really sweet and they are high in sugar, but they also have some fiber, so that can offset all of that. Might be a
But
great thing to put in your smoothie.
putting it in, if you put the dark cherries in there, it should give it
Mhm.
enough sweetness. But you should
It
not
should,
eat anything else.
for sure. And sometimes it's a tolerance too, like you have to get used to it. So start out with a small amount and increase as you develop a taste for something.
Yeah, but it sounds like an overall good tonic to have, every day with your, either for lunch or breakfast.
For sure. Some other ways people can incorporate it: if you do a non-dairy yogurt, an unsweetened non-dairy yogurt, you can mix it into a non-dairy yogurt. You can make yourself a hot cacao with just by boiling water,
Mhm.
and adding it to boiling water would be the most pure way to drink it, but sometimes that doesn't taste as yummy as we're looking for. So you could add it to an almond milk or a coconut milk, or
So it would be more now. I've read some studies and about combining milk with chocolate, and those studies have found that combining milk with the chocolate, like milk chocolate, or
mhm.
consuming milk with your chocolate, it kind of negates the health benefits of the dark chocolate. So your
Yeah,
body is not absorbing that as much.
I'm not exactly sure. I am not super familiar with that. I would imagine that there's a lot of enzymes and proteins present in dairy. So I could imagine that some of those, enzymatic processes and stuff like that probably, could interfere with the antioxidants. Or maybe it has to do with the way we digest dairy. I'm not exactly sure. I definitely think it's worth looking into. I do know that when you're consuming even just dark chocolate, like if you're eating a dark chocolate bar for a
Right.
treat, maybe, but you want to get some of the antioxidant effects and the polyphenol effects of dark chocolate, you want to go for something that's 70 to 85% dark chocolate in order to get those health benefits from it. That's going to probably be a cocoa versus a cacao, but that's okay. You're still getting benefits. And if you're looking to trade something out, like let's say you might eat like a milk chocolate, Belgian chocolate, bar for a snack, like a little treat or whatever dessert, and maybe have a couple of squares off of that. If you're looking to trade that out for something that has more health benefits, a dark chocolate bar, 70 to 85%, is going to give you great benefits, and it's going to be a better trade-off for you. It still have
Yeah.
probably some organic sugar or something in it, but that's okay if you're having it for a treat. A treat is a treat, but you'll be getting some health benefits from that treat too.
I mean, it's not as sweet. And I think
No.
generally our palates are used to having a lot of sugar in a chocolate bar.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
we're programmed to just kind of go, well, this is the way it should be.
Right. I
And,
agree.
and if you, but you can retrain your palate.
You can. And that's what I was kind of saying about like adding a little bit. So maybe like, you start out with like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of the cacao in your smoothie versus,
Exactly.
some people put up to a quarter cup every day. And that
Or a
can
cup
make
of
it a little, yeah, intense for some people.
I think a great website is nutritionfacts.org. Dr. Greger has a smoothie on his site with chocolate. Um, but I think that in his smoothie he has like a quarter cup. I
Yeah.
think a quarter cup is a lot. And in some of the studies that he cited, even just a teaspoon of the cacao powder
Yep.
can be helpful, which
Yep.
is not that much.
No,
It's
it's
like
not
two to
that
five
much.
grains, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really that much, and you could even mix it if it's too intense and you prefer a dark, cocoa powder. You could mix the cocoa powder with the cacao, just till you get used to it. If you're,
Yeah,
just doing a drink, but some people
a little bit of
mix it
cocoa
into
powder.
their, yeah, and some people mix that actually into their coffee in the morning, and
Yeah.
make like a whole like drink out of it, and that way you're not getting the dairy, because unless you put creamer in your coffee. But
So
if you
you
do
just
like a
have
black
to,
coffee, you have to find what you like. Some
you
people
just
make
have,
almost like a tea kind of thing. They
yeah,
think of it more as a tea versus
right,
um
right.
versus like I'm drinking hot chocolate. And if you kind of reframe the way that you're thinking, I think you're right. Our brain is programmed to think of chocolate as like this decadent desserty thing. And if you're talking about health benefits, you're probably going to get not as many. I mean, you're definitely not going to get as many health benefits from, that flourless chocolate cake with a lot of sugar and,
Right, right.
all of those
Yeah,
things in it, or a bonbon or any of like the things that we traditionally think of,
yeah.
as chocolate. It tastes
Oh,
great, but we're not getting health benefits. So if you're switching it out to get a health benefit, then just reframe what you're thinking. You can make a drink, it might be slightly bitter, but we drink a lot of things that are bitter.
the good news is, though, based on some of the studies, is that it really just takes a teaspoon of the raw
Yeah.
cacao in the
Yes.
smoothie to
Right.
get the health benefits.
Right.
And if you have cherries in there, or if you have
Right.
your almond milk or your
Yep.
cashew milk,
Yep.
um, you know, uh, you're going to get the benefits, and there's not much of it, so it's not going to affect the taste that much.
Right. Yeah,
It-
for sure. I mean,
It's an easy trade-off.
it definitely has a strong flavor, but
Yeah,
it's definitely something that you can get used to, I think. I mean, I was never a super fan of chocolate, but I do appreciate the health benefits of cacao, and kind of have forced myself to really come to enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. No, I think it's great. I'm definitely going to start putting that in my smoothie. So we'll have to research some products and
For sure. And one thing I want to add, Mark, is one of the things that you can add to your smoothie, it really complements the flavor. And the Mayans used to do this, is add
yeah.
cinnamon to it.
Oh,
And the Mayans used,
cinnamon is actually good for blood sugar too. It
exactly. And
And
that was
cinnamon,
exactly, it's high in
cinnamon.
antioxidants. It's good for cholesterol, blood sugar, all kinds of stuff.
So you know what we need to do? We need to come up with a second smoothie recipe. I think the
Yeah.
one we have on Health Food Radar is a good recipe.
The chocolate cherry one. Yep.
Yeah,
The
but
cashew chocolate
if we're
cherry.
making one that's specifically, the ingredients are specifically formulated for like someone who has a little bit higher blood sugar
Yeah.
and blood pressure, higher
Yeah.
blood, can we come up with a recipe that has the cinnamon and the cacao
All right,
powder?
Mark, this is what I challenge you to do. Let's try to come up with a cacao cinnamon
Yes,
smoothie, and then let's test your blood sugar afterwards and
I'm
see
gonna. I
how
think
you do and like what you can make a
I think we should
smoothie.
do that. And you know
Yeah.
what? I have the continuous glucose monitor,
Yeah.
so we
Let's
can do
do
that.
it. I think
Yeah, we
so.
can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think our audience might be kind of interested
yeah, we have
in
it. I
that.
have it right here on the
We can
phone.
do it live.
Do you want to do it live? Okay.
I don't know. I'm
I,
just joking.
well, we're
Probably
not.
people don't want to watch you drink this, make this smoothie, drink this smoothie,
They
and
might want
then
to see this
test your
live.
blood.
You mean they
But
want to see the train wreck live? Okay.
maybe it might be a thing. I don't know. But I
Okay. No,
do
that's
think maybe
fine.
they'd like to see some time lapse video or something.
I
Might be interesting.
we can do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I do think people are interested in, in the health benefits of all of those things. And then also, how
Yeah,
does it affect your body? And those are
absolutely.
metrics that we all want to see. I mean, metrics are important. It gives us the feedback, confirmation that what we're doing is actually good for us.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, and
Okay.
we'll cover another topic next week.
All right. Sounds good. In the
All right.
meantime, we get cracking on your smoothie recipe.
I'm going to start thinking about it.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye, Mark.